Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we settle an age-old debate, and Jazz Mystic, the tin connoisseur, gives you the definitive answer you have been waiting for. Heinz! Branston! So I believe that Branston came about in 2005, and I remember the time. I remember actually when it came out, and I remember thinking, finally, we have a bean that may be able to contest with the mighty Heinz, the ancient Heinz, which has been around for, well, since about 1901, I believe. So on each tin we have Branston baked beans in a rich, thick, tomatoey sauce. On the Heinz tin, we have beans in a rich tomato sauce. Heinz claims that it's one of your 5 a day. I find that a little bit suspect, but I'll take their word for it. So per half can, Branston, protein 9.4 grams. Per half can, Heinz, protein 10 grams. So just a little bit more on the Heinz there. Carbohydrate 25.6 on the old Branstage. Carbohydrate on the Heinz, that's 32.1. So let's crack into them. Sparkage! Okie dokie. So I'm just giving them a little bit of a jiggle because I want to see which has the thinnest kind of looking sauce. But on the jigglage scale, I can see that they kind of look a bit equal, because I remember there was a point once when I opened a tin of Heinz beans and they looked a bit watery, and me and my mate Mullet were like, mate, what's happened to the Heinz beans? They seem to have gone a bit watery. And they kind of went, there was a point where they sort of went a bit downhill, and we both swore ourselves to the Branston. And on that note, I would just like to say, actually, this completely unbiased review. I haven't eaten any of these two in years, because we kind of get home brands these days. Wherever supermarket we go, sometimes it changes. But yeah, I haven't eaten either of these two for years, and this is going to be non-biased, no emotions involved. This is going to be pure observational objectiveness from the Tinned Man, Jazz Mystic. So let's crack into it. I'm gonna go for the Branstage first. I've got a little glass of water there so I can rinse the palate after. Okay, let's have a little swish. It's looking pretty good, actually. Okay, that's very nice. Straight away, I was thinking that the sauce is delicious. It's quite sweet. Let's have another little mouthful. Not a bad texture of the beans, but with the beanage, I am picking up a little bit of a kind of like a musty flavour. Almost like, you know, when a jacket has been left in a cupboard for too long and it picks up that, like a slight must, or maybe a strong must. I suppose it depends how long you leave it there. Still, it's only very slight flavour. I'll have another little mouthful. Okay, that's pretty nice. For some reason I was expecting the sauce to be a bit thicker, but it's pretty, I suppose it's pretty standard. But yeah, I mean, a lot of tins of beans kind of do taste the same, I'll be honest. Nothing's really standing out that much, but it is nice. It's a nice tin of beans. It's tasty. So now, hold on a second. Okay, so let's go in with the Heinz, the legendary Heinz. Do you know what? Straight away, the flavour's just not quite as nice as the Branston beans. The beans were kind of like a bit nutty compared to the Branston. But also what you've got to bear in mind, to be fair, I don't know if all tins are going to be exactly the same. I don't know if maybe you could get a batch that was slightly off. But saying that, this is still the definitive answer. I'll have another spoonful of the beanage, give it a little stir of the Heinz beanage. There's something about the Heinz beans, like the actual bean itself. There's a funny flavour. I can't put my finger on it. It's reminding me of something, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But it is like there's a nutty texture, but I tell you what it's reminding me of is like chickpeas, like a chickpea flavour. Let's go back to the Branston. The sauce of the Branston. The sauce of the Branston is without a doubt nicer than the sauce in the Heinz. A similar kind of thickness to the sauces. Not really much in it there. Because of that incident back in the day with Mixmaster Mullet, I was expecting a more watery texture. But I think Heinz have probably cottoned onto that one and they've gone back. They've gone back to their previous ways. But I suppose there's not really an awful lot to say. There's not. I don't feel like there's too much depth I can go into. But it's a difficult one. Because the thing is as well, when you cook the beanage, they do soften up a little bit. But I'm not soft. And I eat my beans cold, as you know. So it does, I mean, so when you cook them, obviously it makes a slight difference, but it doesn't really bother me. But I feel that in this review, in this comparison, I feel like the sauce in the Branston is superior, and I feel like the beans themselves are also superior. So, my fellow tin men, the definitive answer, the question we've all been asking ourselves for many, many years, the answer to that question is that Branston takes it. Branston! I will mark both of them out of 10. I suppose these two are considered the two elites of the bean world. I would say that the Branston, I'm going to give the Branston beans an 8.5. Seeing as it is an elite bean, top of the bean charts. And then the Heinz is very, very close behind it. I'm going to have to give the Heinz beans an 8. It's not at all that the Heinz beans are bad. It's just that the Branston beans are superior. The sauce is tastier. I preferred the texture of the beans. Wasn't too fond of the chickpea reminder from Heinz. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. There is another tin review from your boy Jazz Mystic. Peace!